Hello everyone and welcome to the AWS for Games 2024 Game Developers Conference Recap. My name is Melissinos and I'm the Principal Evangelist for the video game industry here at AWS, and I'm pleased to share with you a personal highlight reel from this year's show. GDC, which started in 1988, is now in its 36th year and is the premier conference for the global game development community. GDC is where developers can come to learn from each other, hear from industry luminaries about how they created the games and companies that have shaped the industry, explore some of the most creative experimentation with game design and interaction, and participate in hundreds of sessions, parties, and events over the conference's week-long agenda. It has been 24 years since I attended my very first GDC, and I have to say that the conference feels like it is finally back to its true form, following the change in scope during the global pandemic from 2020 to 2022. This year, the show had nearly 30,000 attendees, more than 1,000 speakers across 730 sessions, and more than 300 companies were on the Expo floor. So now that I have a chance to catch up from one of the most exciting and hectic events for me all year, let's take a trip through some of my highlights from this year's conference.
And you can see it's Monday. GDC is well underway with the incredible sized crowds that are coming out of the first sessions of GDC 2024. One of the wonderful things about this conference, it's more than just getting to play video games and see the newest games that are coming out, but it's to actually listen to the people who have spent their lives building video games, dedicated themselves to this incredible art form, and that's what this conference offers. People the ability to listen from those luminaries, to learn from each other, to share their experiences, and to build more games, make more smiles, more moments of meaningful connection through video games across the planet. And in the AWS booth right here at the top of the escalators, we have AWS experts on hand to talk about everything from Gen AI to building on AWS services and looking at the future of cloud gaming through platforms like Luna.
Oh, hey there. Right triggers, go. That's pretty much all you need. My rocket dig skills are pretty interesting. So,
Hey, I'm sitting here with my friend and colleague Gustaf from AWS. So tell us, what do you do at AWS?
I do go-to-market for games, leading that under media and entertainment.
Very good. Now,
that's
go to
right.
market for games. Like, how are we helping game developers get their games to market by leveraging AWS technologies and services?
That's right. That's exactly right.
That's
yeah, that's exactly right.
So look at
building motion so we can reach as many game developers as we can with our materials, right? So they can understand how to use AWS better.
Right. Yeah, and our job, right, is to make sure that any game developer that wants to go ahead and bring their game to the world can do so safely, reliably, and performantly on AWS.
And at really good cost as well.
That's right.
That's
Only
right.
pay for what you use,
That is
right?
true.
And that's one of the benefits of AWS Cloud Services.
That's great.
Awesome. Well, have an awesome
Thank
GDC.
you so much.
Good to see you. All right,
Appreciate it.
more from GDC.
Thank you.
AWS also sponsored 5 sessions with partners from some of the biggest games and names, like Larian Studios, discussing how they leveraged AWS to analyze data to create a better game player experience in Baldur's Gate 3, Scopely discussing how they built and scaled their smash hit Monopoly Go on AWS, and I led a fireside chat with former Bungie founder and current Look North World founder Alex Seropian on the future of game development. At AWS, we are dedicated to helping game developers develop, deploy, and manage their games for a global audience by aligning purpose-built game development capabilities, including AWS services, AWS solutions, and AWS partners that focus on cloud game development, game servers, game security, live operations, game analytics, and game AI and ML. And we continue to explore opportunities to simplify how game customers use AWS, making it easier to select the right tools for their desired use cases and reduce the amount of resourcing and investment required to adopt the cloud and achieve faster time to value. These sessions at GDC leaned in on many of these topics, and the sessions were packed with developers that were interested in how they can leverage AWS to build, run, and grow their games on AWS, as so many of the biggest games and companies have, along with thousands of smaller and independent game developers as well. We will be exploring the opportunity to bring you some more of this content in the coming months right here on the AWS for Games channels on YouTube and Twitch.
So there's so many different areas at GDC to experience new games that are coming out from developers of all sizes. One of my favorite areas every year at GDC is an area called Day of the Devs. And this was started by Tim Schafer and his company Double Fine, and now working with IM8bit, the brilliant artists over there. And this is a fixture now at GDC. We get to look at some of the most amazing games that are emerging out of the indie space. Let's take a quick walk by and check them out.
AWS hosted and participated in other events away from the main conference that were all sold-out affairs, including the second annual Celebrating Women in Games panel and networking event, the very first Live Ops Symposium, where industry experts explored best practices to discuss how AI will be leveraged to help game developers manage, grow, and maintain their games, and the AWS for Games Partner Showcase that brought together AWS partners to discuss how to accelerate game development, game backends, and also have a fun networking social event. Let's take a quick peek at these amazing events.
There we go. That's right, buddy. No, you're good. You're good. Everybody, you're all good. You're all good.
Publisher and developer, and so I have done everything from start a business within the games industry, start a studio within the games industry, and then sell and acquire multiple different companies.
Will upside fall into your lap if you get hooked up with CleverTap? If your game is drowning in the red ocean, will CleverTap and AWS be key to your next promotion? Getting high ROAS is not like shooting sitting ducks. You need great execution and you need some luck. Loving what you do, however, is more controllable than making big bucks. And remember, as we grew the game industry 100-fold, 75% of the time investors could prove that the game biz would always suck.
So, as we're getting started with our second panel discussion tonight on accelerating game development, I'll start by introducing myself. I'm Olivia Liddell, a solutions architect at AWS in our games team. I've been at AWS for about 4 years now. I work with startup studios, so this topic of cloud game development is something that comes up a lot in my customer conversations. For those of you who may be new to the topic of cloud game development, that can encompass topics such as virtual workstations, CI/CD pipelines.
Of course, the heart of the conference is the amazing Expo floor, where companies are showcasing the technologies and services that game developers can leverage to bring their games to the world. Let's run through and check it out.
Hey, so I'm sitting here with my friend and awesome colleague, Zaheer from AWS. So Zaheer, how long have you been working in, well, first of all, I should mention, Zaheer is the ultimate connector in the games industry. This guy has worked with, hundreds of game developers over the years here. How long have you been at AWS?
8 years.
8 years at AWS. And this GDC for you is how many?
5?
5 GDCs.
COVID. COVID
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the COVID GDCs.
Right.
So tell me a bit about what you do here at AWS.
I work with a lot of our studios, our venture-backed studios, and also a lot of our partners to help the industry.
Right.
And connect them all to make sure that we get essentially the best support for them.
Right, and so that can be everything from understanding how they can apply for credits or where to find information or who to meet within the organization to help them.
And also what can make them successful. What do they need? What are all the basic pieces to help them get access to it? Because the access is not just for the larger studios, it's for the smaller ones as well.
Awesome. Now, Zaheer is also a core gamer, so tell me, what are you playing right now?
You're gonna hate me for this, but League of Legends for 13 years, and then Helldivers. Because Helldivers is absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely.
It's true.
It is. And and every time, if Zaheer is not working here at AWS, he's either traveling or playing. So easy to find him
That's
online.
true. Travel the world, play games. That's what makes you happy.
That is what life is all about, especially life here at GDC. So, hey Zaheer, thanks so much. Have a great show.
Thanks so much, Chris. Have a great day.
All right. Now, another one of my favorite areas each GDC is the Alt.Ctrl.GDC area. And this area is where developers experiment with alternative control systems to create some incredible, wacky, and hilarious control mechanics for some truly unique gameplay experiences. From shaking a Coke bottle to launch it into outer space, to competitive waffle making, and even racing through a corporate office on a toilet bowl using a plunger as a speed controller, the Alt.Ctrl.GDC area is one that pushes developers to think differently about what games can be and how we interface with them. Let's take a look. Now, it wouldn't be a gaming conference without swag. And at the Game Developer Conference, it's not just t-shirts and hoodies. It's books, it's art, it's music. So we're going to take a walk into the GDC Store. I'm going to show you a sample of all of the goodies that you can pick up if you're out here at the Game Developer Conference 2024 here in San Francisco. So let's take a look inside at what the conference goer is going to be buying, wearing, reading, and using to build better games going forward. And I'm here in the Open3D Engine booth with Sandeep Bisla, who is a general manager at AWS, but most importantly in this context, the chair of the Open3D Foundation. Sandeep, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Chris?
Yeah, your voice is still a bit strong. I know it's been,
It's a little hoarse at this point, but it's still working. Let's see how it holds out.
That's right. And so we've been in. So this is GDC. What for you?
I've lost count. Been going over 25 years. It's 10 plus at least, and I have to do more homework to figure out how many more.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't matter how many times we've been through this. The voice tends to go after a little while because we're here on the last day on the show floor, and I wanted to, in the tradition of the best for last, make sure we got by the booth here. So why don't you tell our audience a bit about the Open3D engine, kind of what is it? And we know that it got started inside of AWS or Amazon.
That's right.
But tell us a bit about the origin of the Open3D engine.
Sure, absolutely, we'd love to. So our roots are in Lumberyard, which was an Amazon product that we had, was our game engine. And around 2021, we transitioned to the Open3D engine, and it's really the open source successor to Lumberyard. And I mentioned that it's open source, it's permissively licensed under Apache 2. So really it means you can do anything with the engine, and there's no terms and conditions, and there's no royalties or anything to pay. And it's really a AAA capable engine, so you can do great high fidelity production on there. And very recently we just added our mobile pipeline as well, and a couple of days ago we actually announced the first commercial game that will be launching in Open3D.
Oh, really?
Right, yeah, and that's coming from the studio Carbonated, and the game's Mad World. So really, really excited to have them actually build their game experience on O3DE, but also to be able to have the entire mobile pipeline and to be able to support mobile customers going forward.
All right, so it's not just desktop like we would normally think for an engine this big. This is desktop, mobile, basically kind of any type of game you want to build.
Absolutely. And there's that focus on the game side, to your point, high fidelity and mobile as well. And we have rendering pipelines set up for both, but also VR as well. We have full OpenXR support. If you've got a Meta Quest, you can bust it out and you can use that with O3D as well. Then on coupled with all of that, we've got simulation support. So we have a robust robotic simulation engine support in there as well. And we have our partner Robotech AI, who've been growing great guns with that and having commercial partners actually using the engine for simulation purposes.
Amazing. All right, so now when we talk about open source, how is this really open? Like, under Apache 2, what does that mean? What can I do as a developer?
Actually, basically means you can do anything. So you're under no requirement to contribute back to the engine. Of course, we'd love you to contribute back to the engine.
Yes.
That's the idea.
And the power of the open source community, right?
Exactly.
Share your brilliance with the rest of everybody, but go ahead.
Join us on Discord, exactly.
Yeah.
Join the community there. But ultimately, it means there's no terms and conditions. There's no royalties. So you can use the engine however you like, use it for commercial interest, build a business on top of it, and you don't owe anybody anything. Again, what we're really looking for is for people to join the community, contribute back to the engine, share the love with everyone else.
Right.
And that's really kind of will empower the engine and help us move forward to building a better experience.
That's amazing. And so, the team that actually built the Open3D engine that worked on Lumberyard come from game development, right? Backgrounds
That's right.
in proper game development. We're not talking about just simple side things or as a hobby. People that come from companies like, with a history at Rockstar and EA and
IDOS and Ubisoft, and the list is honestly endless.
Right.
We're so lucky to have had so much talent work on this engine, past and present. And now we're seeing talented engineers from other companies also work on the engine as well. And again, that's building the community we want to see. So it really does help us develop that pedigree for the engine because of the developers, the talent that we've had built in.
Amazing. And then lastly, we had a member of the O3D team actually move over to the Linux Foundation to kind of act as the general manager over there. And who would that be?
That is Mr. Joe Bryant.
That's right.
He recently took over as executive director. We are super excited
Executive
to have
director.
him.
That's right. Sorry, Joe.
But genuinely super excited. Joe is, fortunately he's not here, he's running around, doing the things that he needs to be doing in GDC.
Yeah.
But yeah, really excited to have him there and, really confident of what Joe's going to be able to do with the engine, build the community, add more partners to the O3D Foundation, which is again what we want, it's how we're going to prosper.
Right.
And another game veteran, another 20, 30 industry game veteran.
Exactly.
So again, Joe knows the engine, like the back of his hand. He knows the community well, and we've got full confidence Joe is going to do a fantastic job.
Amazing. All right, so there you have it. If you want to go ahead and build your next game, use entirely free open source engine that is built for AAA games down to AAA on mobile, make sure you go ahead over to the o3de.org website, find out more information about the O3D engine, download it, start building your game, and contribute back to the community today.
Please do.
All right, Sandeep, thanks, buddy.
Chris, thanks for your time.
All righty.
Another awesome area that was set up this year was the Video Game History Foundation's display that focused on some of the more obscure stories and games from our industry. Instead of just having a display of old game consoles available to play, which is always fun, the Foundation sought to help illuminate the developers, stories, products, and creative process that may not be as obvious to those of us in the industry, but were highly impactful or opened the doors for others. Let's walk through. GDC is a wholly unique conference in the video game industry in that it crosses every area of game development, from game engines to control systems, business considerations in starting a game company, tools and services to operate your company, manage communities, stretch your thinking, and to hear from and be inspired by game industry legends and colleagues. As the longest-running video game developer conference, it still feels as fresh and exciting to me as it did when I first started attending 24 years ago. At AWS, we understand the importance of delivering the tools, technologies, and services that will enable developers to continue to bring more art, more smiles, and more moments of meaningful connection to a global audience. And we look forward to continued participation at GDC in the years to come. Now make sure you check out our continued game industry content right here on our YouTube and Twitch channels, and make sure that you like and subscribe to follow us and the games industry content that we produce. Links to all of the content we discussed are at the end of this video and in the description below. So thanks for hanging out with me and us at GDC. At AWS, we're here to help you on your cloud game development journey. So reach out and let us know how we can assist you. Cheers to you all.